Alright guys, we're back. I mean, it's Sunday, so this kind of counts as next week, but let's get started. I had some more time. I get more and more time as it goes on. Um, Junior year, I thought it was gonna be a lot more harder. I guess it isn't, so let's let's start up with this then. Uh, with much time I have, I'll make this quick. So, nothing much has really happened besides the fact that Turan launched and then Roblox shit itself, so then that kind of went not very well. Or that Karavik was supposed to launch. Let's see how that's doing, actually. The Kingdom of Karavik. Nope, it has not launched. It is interesting, though. They have... There's a lot of alts here. I don't remember a lot of these people at all. Like, who are all these people? Are these guys all from that one, German communist group? Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but 150 members almost. That's a good startup. But I was looking around, actually. I clicked an ad and I saw this Galactic Empire. And I ignored it the first time. And then I checked it again and I'm like, something is up about this group. So I checked it out, actually. And it has 50 people. It's been active for a very long time. Another reason why I checked it out is because a lot of my, well, not a lot, but a few people from my loyalists are also in this group. And I'm like, that's interesting because they're usually only doing things that I make. Maybe Turan wasn't that fun, I don't know. But I looked at it. And, well, I'll show you. This is basically, if you've read the video title, I called it like a Richter Imperium 2.0, and you'll see why. So, I read this guy's speech. And this is something that I would usually say. And it wasn't something I actually believe. I didn't actually believe that, you know, there should be a lot of edginess on the platform. But I pretended to because edginess, to be honest, guys, is what creates active empires. It's what makes things grow. But this guy said, to many of you, this is a game. This is an online good adventure where we just do shit and giggles. It's not serious, not real. But what if it was more? What if it was more than a Lego adventure? What if it was more than a game? What if we made it more? What if we made it this empire, a community, But look at the quote I made back last December on the 21st. No longer do I think this is a game, but a cause that will involve an everlasting enjoyment of our community. That was a quote that I made a very long time ago. And this guy, I mean, what is all this? This guy goes on and on about this, saying that I am ambitious, I am arrogant. People say that this is impossible, I can make it possible. We can do good things. I feel like that this guy, I don't know how, why, or what, but I don't know. Did this guy copy from my ideas? I'm not really sure. Let's check out more of this stuff. So I clicked on the Imperial Charter, and apparently I have edit access to it. I don't know why, how, or what. I have access to this document, though. What the frick? I feel like this guy just went and succeed or die. This is interesting. The word of the Emperor is law. Anything he says must be followed without question. Doing otherwise is considered high treason. I'm telling you guys, this guy is copying my ideas. The Counselor of the Empire, in the absence of them, should be considered an knowledge in the Emperor himself. Okay. Budgets? Do they pay these guys? People get paid for doing stuff here. Look at this. 5,000 Robux monthly. Holy crap. He pays his members. So this is interesting. The Tyrant family. This is very interesting. I've been scrolling all these announcements trying to see if there's anything that reminds me of my old self. He has that repetition like I do. The other people will rise, the other people will succeed. You know, I always had the repetition myself when I made speeches. It's interesting, like I said, how this guy is so, like, after I quit, like, is there a reason why this is happening? Is it because since I quit, everyone else is trying to do what I did? I mean, I made this prediction, did I not? I said, once I quit this platform, all the people that were jealous are trying doing what I did. They're going to do the same thing, to copy my ideas and paint it as their own, and then paint me as this tyrant, this really bad person. But then copy my ideas and say this is the right way. And now I'm seeing these other groups pop up doing the same thing. They have this same rotation. Loyalty is everything. This is not a game. This is, you know, a brotherhood, a community. And, you know, these ideas are ideas that I actually held in game, not in real life, but in game. I would pretend and say this, like, yeah, it's about the group, not, you know, real life, because I wanted to get more activity. It wasn't because I actually believed that I would one day, whatever people thought it was. The reason why I said those things was for activity. It was to make the group edgier, to get more manpower, resources, activity. People wanted to see that. It's the same tactics that the NSDAPs during the 20s and 30s. They were edgy, they used uniforms, and they had these loud voices. I used the same exact tactics, and it worked, did it not? That's why I was an edgy guy. I was rarely ever immature or had that ebonics language use. I always just had this way of being serious because people love that edginess. They loved what they saw, and now this is happening with other groups because they see the same thing and they're like, wow, it worked for him, it'll work for us. And now that I'm gone, they know that I can't call them out. Well, I mean, I guess I can. I still roam the sites because I get bored and I'm like, what's going on here, and I just review it. But let's continue with this. Okay, so the difference between me and him is that when this guy tries to enforce it, I see a lot of things like, oh my god, officers are disagreeing. Oh yeah, there's a lot of complaining going on. There's, people not failing to obey it, but, you know, purges going on. You're DM me right now, we can resolve the issue. Please calm down. There's a lot of issues and announcements where the guy constantly goes out and says, hey, guys, stop complaining, we'll fix the issue. Whenever I did this, I never had that problem. Seriously, I never had complainers or disagreeers, ever. The only time I'd have traitors is they'd be secretive. I rarely, if any time, had a point where a medium, at least the medium rank, would come to me and say, hey, I don't like what you're doing. People knew what they're supposed to do. If it was like a low rank, then yeah, that's common sense. They're not technically loyal at that point. But this guy, I think he has more issues with trying to obtain the loyalty. He has the right idea, but he doesn't seem, did this guy ever DM? At least the DM history of this guy. Okay, I have no history with this guy, actually, so let's continue. This victory, when did she who be the first of many our conquests of the genre, for our dominion, for our unification, for our legacy, the Empire calls on all of you. This is like, I'm looking at this all, I'm like, damn. Like, look at this activity. Like, this guy has 50 people on for a long time. He had like 100 people on the other day when I checked. This guy has had activity 24/7. He's doing what I should have had. This is the guy that's basically leading my legacy. Wow. I don't know how he did it. I heard that he spammed the ad system with ads, and that's how he got so big. But lucky. The guy's lucky that he's able to do all this and then use my ideas on a super group. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm not finished with the recording, so let's continue with this because this is golden. He uses the same thing as I do. I used to use it in speech. I'm like, the enemy says that we will never succeed, that we will always fail. And he trots it out. It's like, oh yeah, the enemy says it is impossible. Oh, and they won a battle. Glory to the Empire. Glory to the Empire. Man, the guy is probably having a major orgasm over there. Oh, I almost missed this. Y'all are retarded. Our motto is succeed or die. Boomer. This guy is based in Red Pilled. Oh, this guy reminds me of Hadrian now with this speech. This means another speech, the legacy. This is not any man's own group. This is our empire, our drive, our legacy, our communion. Succeed or die. Man, this guy must be looking at Hadrian too. He's like, oh my god, a successor to Richter. Hey, he's using his ideas too. That's interesting. It's basically a 2.0 neo-Richterist doctrine at this point. He had the same issue I had. The poor guy is living the new gens of Roblox, and he had a good solution though. He actually added secretaries for each issue people had, so he wouldn't have to deal with people like this. Smart man. Okay, this is something interesting. I didn't have plans doing this. Whenever we get really big, it's actually the opposite. Before we launched the group, I would act a bit silly, and then once we launched the group, I would become more serious. And as the group got bigger, I became even more serious. This guy is the opposite. So he starts out really serious, and as the group gets more and more bigger, and as he now, owns the genre, he gets more and more immature, I guess. So now he's like, oh, well, you're gonna complain about me being immature. Just shut up. It's interesting though. Blah 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 blah. Interesting. Like the guy's like not very serious version of me. Not that I am serious anymore, but like back in the day, the TRI, I would have this really deep ass voice. The people I would scare the shit out of everyone. And this guy is kind of the opposite. Like he takes loyalty seriously, but then his personality is really memeish. And I guess it's kind of this really not that similar for me. This guy has an interesting way of accusing people of treason. So some guy lied to him about using HBE, and he got mad because he questioned his intelligence. This is something I would usually say, but then he says to the people, "This is a damn matter of lying to the one person who spent over 1,000 of their hard-earned US dollars so you can have a place to be. This is atrocious, and I am personally hurt and disappointed." Now, wow, it's like I tried this in the late TRI era, or no, mid TRI era, in like late December, early January. Or no, up to late January rather, where I would kind of it was just a test, but I basically acted really emotional. I'm like, oh well, if you're gonna do that, that hurts my feelings. And it wasn't that I actually was trying to be a liberal. It's just I was testing how people would react. And I thought that emotionally would make people feel bad and want to be more loyal to help me. It did the opposite. It made me seem more weaker whenever I was like, "Oh, well, you don't do that, you're gonna hurt me." Instead of me saying, "Don't do that, or I'll demote you," I was like, "No, you're gonna hurt me if you do that." And people are, are we trying to guilt trip me? It showed weakness, and as a result, they kind of just lost. My entire Imperial Guards lost more and more loyalty to me because I was always, constantly like, "Oh, no, 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 don't do that." I think at one point I pretended to be really emotional over my ex at one point just to see their reaction, and they like kind of just sat there and like, oh, it's gonna be all right. And they helped me out, but in the end, they're like, you're a weak leader. You literally got all emotional and tried to guilt trip us, and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that again. Um, but and this guy does it with all of his people. I don't know if it worked out for him or not, but that's interesting how he's like, I spent all this money, this is not a, I did all this stuff, this is unfair. It's interesting. The guy does witch hunts like I do. So back in the day, what I used to do with some people that were really high up is they'd make an opinion, and I disagree, and they disagree with me. So what I do in game is I do a vote. I do vote all 10. Is it true? Blah 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 blah, and it'd be like 20 to like 2 or something. And I'm like, well, 20 people in the game agree that with what I said, and they'll just run off and go cry. It's kind of doing the same exact thing. It's like, all right, well, if you do this, you do that, then blah 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 blah. And like everyone, 54 people agree with him, and 3 people disagree. It's like doing the same thing as I did with these witch hunts. It's like I said, it's amazing how similar this guy is acting in terms of my ideals. Oh, wow. I'm announcing the legitimization of our empire, so one true galactic empire in the genre. This is an epic gamer moment, bro. Is that Calvin Ranker? Hold on, guys. Ha! It's Calvin Ranker. Holy shit, what did he do? Failure to perform his duties. Man, rest in peace, Calvin. Rest in freaking peace. God, this guy is rich. That's like the 6th time I've heard like 20k, 30k ran. Man, where do you get all this money, dude? Do you like work a job and pay for all this Robux? If so, I should do the same thing. I should get a job this summer and something. This is interesting. This guy goes on about how everyone, including himself, has apparently lost morale and patriotism to the emperor, or empire rather. It is the Grimmar is not a group or an organization. It is an idea, and an idea that we will share. Someone will generate or anyone man's empire. Do not do it for yourself. Do it for the empire. Do it for the genre. Do it for who you previously were and who you wish to become. The genre needs us. Without us, it is lost. We lost forever. We are the only and only one to save it. If we do not succeed, the genre will die. We are the one true empire. The one true imperials. We are the empire. We are friends. We are family. This is interesting. Let us bring glory to ourselves as genre once more. Let's begin our legacy. Rest in peace. The people just... Wow. Burn this man and all of us following the betrayal for high treason I have committed against not only us but the genre. Man, this is such an interesting group. I don't like the idea of it's like, it's not my empire, it is yours, I mean, I don't know why, I just don't find that inspiring that much. It's, people need a strong, when they come to follow someone, they want to follow someone. They don't want to follow. You can't follow a group because the group does not exist as an entity. And Hadrian's, people like Hadrian are like, well, entities are the reason why things fail because entities are humans and they're unpredictable and can change. But so that's the thing, because a group or an empire, like an idea or a state, it doesn't exist. If you follow it until what if it doesn't exist? It's too confusing. It's too complex to organize into loyalty. When it comes to nationalism, I mean, it all depends. I prefer like an entity, like for a person. The most simplest one to use in a game would be a person. You own. This is Roblox. It's not real life. So I don't know. It's interesting. It seems to be working out for him, but like I said, a lot of people seem to be complaining, causing issues. He keeps being purged. His people's loyalty are very questionable, and I don't know. I don't think they're unconditionally loyal to him. I think they're there, and a lot of them are devoted. And he has an inner circle. His outer circles is, 50 fanatics, but the rest of them are probably just there to be there. Like my groups almost, except mine don't disagree or complain or anything because they know what will happen if they do. Let's continue. Shall the emperor be replaced in his position as emperor with a more suitable replacement due to his failures in the empire? Weaponized boomer. K-Rags. 67 Reta X. This guy is the master of propaganda. Wow. I mean, I've done similar things where I've done the same thing, to be honest, but like in a group as big as this. Holy shit. Whoa! Look at that money. 107,000 in pending sales. Shit. This guy makes bank. So with all that being said, this is actually a very long video. I said be short, but I mean, when I say short, I mean less than like 20 minutes. So, in reality, it was like 30 minutes, but wow. So tell me what you guys think of this group. And I think it's pretty interesting because of the similarities between my ideals and its ideals. So in the comment section, tell me if you think this group is similar. What do you think about it? If it's more edgier, less edgier, better or worse? And where do you think it's going to go? Is it going to succeed? Do you think it's going to fail? What's going to happen with it? While you do that, I'm just going to go and relax and see if I can contact this guy and figure out if this guy really did get inspired by my ideas. And if not, well, fair enough. You're very creative, my friend. But with that all being said, my bros, my epic gamers, works with the nation, unite, for a great struggle shall commence for the northeastern. Yeah, northeastern national awakening shall begin. How victory.